Have you ever sat down for a really long meditation, maybe pushed yourself further than ever before, and instead of feeling blissful and calm, you just feel like you lost a wrestling match with your own brain? Well, today we're diving deep into that exact experience. It's what I call the meditator's paradox. When you find the most physical stillness, you can unleash a crazy internal storm. And this quote right here, it just hits the nail on the head. You've done the hard part. You've sat through the discomfort. Your body is still hasming, but your mind is throwing a full-blown party. So what is actually going on here? When you're sitting in silence, why does your brain decide to get louder than ever? Is it a sign that you're failing, or is it a sign that something much, much deeper is happening? All right, so here's how we're going to unpack this whole thing. First, we'll look at the body in this bizarre tensegrity lock. Then we'll jump into the mind's crazy electrical storm. After that, we'll uncover a hidden network of light that actually connects the two. And finally, we'll completely reframe what the real goal of meditation is. Okay, first things first, let's talk about the physical side of this. You know that intense feeling, maybe after an hour or two of sitting, where your legs feel like they're completely locked in place? It can be kind of freaky, right? Makes you feel like maybe you pushed it way too far. I mean, just imagine this, being so deep in a posture that you physically can't unfold your own legs. You literally need to use your hands to pry them open. Now, that sounds like a problem, but what if I told you it's actually a sign that you're doing something right? And here's where we get a massive shift in perspective. According to Taoist physiology, this physical lock isn't a bug, it's a feature. It's a huge milestone, and it's called a tensegrity lock. It means you've successfully created a brand new type of energy circuit inside your body. So what on earth is tensegrity? Well, think of a suspension bridge. It's held up by a network of cables that are under continuous tension, balanced out by the compression of the towers. Your body is basically a living, breathing tensegrity structure, with your fascia acting as the tension cables and your bones as the compression points. So how does this work in meditation? Well, as you can see here, holding that posture puts sustained mechanical stress on your bones and your collagen. And through a really cool process called the piezoelectric effect, that physical pressure actually generates a weak electric field. You are literally turning yourself into a human biogenerator. And that locked feeling, that comes from an amazing process happening in your connective tissue. Your fascia, which is this web that runs through your whole body, goes through something called a thixotropic phase transition. Basically, under that constant pressure, it shifts from a liquidy, flexible state to a more solid, gel-like state. That's the lock. Okay, here's the crucial part. Think of your body as a high-pressure cooker. By locking your lower body into this gel state, you've sealed the bottom valve. All that bioelectric energy you're generating has nowhere to go but up. It's forced to travel towards your brain. The physical stage is set, and now the real battle is about to begin. Okay, so let's follow that energy. We've seen how the physical pressure cooker gets set up, but what happens when all that steam hits the brain? This is the part of meditation that feels like a total failure, right? The moment you want your mind to be the most calm is the exact moment it decides to go completely haywire. Does this sound at all familiar? You're sitting there trying to be serene, and suddenly your brain starts serving up this endless buffet of distractions. You're planning next week's meetings, you're remembering a joke from 3 days ago, you're hit with a wave of anxiety, the internal monologue becomes an absolute roar. But here's the thing, what feels like you're losing control is actually a predictable and necessary stage. In traditional Taoist practices, this is known as energy flushing out latent blockages. That mental chaos isn't a bug, it's a feature of a profound mental detox. You can actually look at this mental storm from two different but complementary angles. The traditional view calls it flipping the seats. It's like that rising energy is a high-pressure hose washing out all the gunk, the old thoughts, anxieties, and memories hidden in your subconscious. At the same time, neuroscience has its own explanation. Your brain's default mode network, which is used to kind of coasting along, feels threatened by this new energy surge, so it fights back. It throws up every distraction it can think of to try and pull you back to its normal, comfortable, low-energy state. And this table right here just beautifully connects the ancient wisdom with modern science. Refining essence, that's the mechanical pressure from your posture. The firing process, that's the piezoelectric effect we talked about, turning stress into an electric field. And transforming qi, this corresponds to biophoton emission. You are literally converting your body's chemical energy into light. Which brings us to probably the most mind-bending part of this whole story. We're talking about all this energy, this light, this information, but how in the world does it travel through the body? Well, the answer seems to lie in a biological system that modern science is only just beginning to rediscover. Yeah, that's the key question, isn't it? This energy isn't moving through your nerves or your blood vessels in the usual way we think about. So what is this hidden information superhighway? It turns out, for years now, scientists have been finding evidence of what you could call a new circulatory system, one that's been hiding in plain sight, running alongside our nerves and blood vessels, a system that ancient medical traditions have been describing for centuries. It's called the Vascular System, or PVS, and it is a network of incredibly tiny, transparent, thread-like vessels that are amazingly efficient at transporting light in the form of biophotons. And get this, many researchers now believe that the PVS is the actual physical structure of the acupuncture meridian lines. And what's the medium that this incredible network runs through? It's our old friend, the fascia. That body-wide web of connective tissue isn't just structural support. Its collagen fibers have a liquid crystal structure, which allows it to act like a living, biological fiber optic network. It's a semiconductor, perfectly built to transmit the light and electricity you're generating, connecting every single cell in your body. Okay, so we've connected the locked legs to the mental chaos, all through a hidden network of light. Now we get to the most important part. What do you actually do about it? And this requires a fundamental shift in how we even think about the goal of meditation. This right here is the absolute key. The real goal was never to achieve a perfectly silent, empty mind. Honestly, that's pretty much impossible for most of us. The real skill, the true sign of progress, is developing the power to pull your mind back to a single point of focus, over and over again. So let's just look at this side by side. We have to let go of this old, frustrating goal of chasing an empty mind. The new goal, the one that's actually achievable and far more powerful, is to build a mental muscle. The ability to redirect your attention whenever you want, to become the master of your own focus. So here is your simple 3-step guide for when that storm hits. First, just acknowledge it. Say to yourself, there's the mind, putting on its show again. Don't judge it, don't fight it. Second, immediately activate your anchor. It could be a mantra, a piece of music, the feeling of your breath. And third, just observe everything else. The pain in your legs, the thoughts about work, treat it all like background noise. Your only job is to return to the anchor. Even if you have to pull your mind back 10 times in 10 seconds, each one of those pullbacks is the practice. So the next time you sit down to practice and your legs lock up and your mind goes crazy, know that these aren't signs of failure. They're signs the process is working beautifully. The only question left for you is, what anchor are you going to choose to navigate that storm and build real, lasting mental control?
If you found this helpful, hit the like button, subscribe, and share with those who might benefit.